Chapter 6, Types of Quantitative Research. So what is quantitative research? Quantitative research is defined as a systematic investigation of phenomena by gathering quantifiable data and performing statistical, mathematical, or computational techniques. Quantitative research collects information from existing and potential customers using sampling methods and sending out online surveys, online polls, or questionnaires. After a careful understanding of these numbers to predict the future of a product or a service and make changes accordingly. An example of quantitative research is the survey conducted to understand the amount of time a doctor takes to tend to a patient when the patient walks into the hospital. So, a patient satisfaction survey template can be administered to ask questions like how much time did a doctor takes to see a patient, or how often does a patient walk into the hospital, among other questions. So quantitative research questions or questionnaires are often objective, elaborate, and many times even investigational. So the results achieved from the research method are logical, statistical, and unbiased. Data collection happened using a structured method and conducted on a larger samples that present the entire population. So questionnaire is one of the popular tools for quantitative research. Quantitative outcome research is mostly conducted in the social sciences using the statistical methods. In this research method, researchers and statisticians deploy mathematical frameworks and theories that pertain to the quantity under question. So what are the characteristics of a quantitative research? So it uses structured tools just like our questionnaires. It has also a sample size. We have to identify the sample size from our chosen population. And then the questions used are close-ended questions. It can be from or formulated from a prior studies. It collects quantitative data, and there is a generalization of results. So examples of quantitative research or quantitative methods of research are the customer satisfaction survey. If any organization would like to conduct a customer satisfaction survey, a customer satisfaction questionnaire can be used. Through this survey, an organization can collect quantitative data and metrics on the goodwill of the brand or organization in the mind of customer based on multiple parameters such as product quality, pricing, customer experience, among others. This data can be collected by asking a Net Promoter Score or NPS question that provide data in the form of numbers that can be analyzed and worked upon. Another example is the event survey. In that event survey, for example, collecting feedback from the event attendees about the value that they see from the event. By using an event survey template or questionnaires, the organization can collect actionable feedback and about satisfaction levels of customers during various phases of the event, such as the sales, pre and post-event, the likelihood of recommending the organization to their friends or colleagues, or even hotel preferences for the future events and other such questions. So what are the advantages of quantitative research? There are many advantages of quantitative research, but some of the major advantages of why researchers use this method in the market are: number one, it collects reliable and accurate data. As data is collected, analyzed, and presented in numbers, the results obtained will be extremely reliable because numbers do not lie. They offer an honest picture of the conducted research without discrepancies and is also extremely accurate. In situations where researchers predict conflict, quantitative research is conducted. Another advantage is the quick data collection. A quantitative research is carried out with a group of respondents who represent a population. So a survey or any other quantitative research method applied to these respondents and the involvement of statistics, conducting and analyzing results is quite straightforward and less time consuming. Another it has a wider scope of data analysis. Due to the statistics, this research method provides a wide scope of data collection. Lastly, through quantitative methods, we can eliminate biases. This research method offers no scope for personal comment or biasing of result. The results achieved are numerical and are thus fair in most cases. So what are the different types of quantitative research? So first is we have the survey research. Survey research is the most fundamental tool for all quantitative outcome research methodologies and studies. So surveys used to ask questions to a sample of respondents using various types such as the online polls, online surveys, paper questionnaires, or web intercept surveys. Every small and big organizations intends to understand what their customers think about their products and services, how well are new features faring in the market, and other such details. An example of survey research is the cross-section surveys. Cross-sectional surveys are observational surveys conducted in situations where the researcher intends to collect data from a sample of the target population at a given point in time. So researchers can evaluate various variables at a particular time. Data gathered using this type of survey is from people who depict similarity in all variables except the variables which are considered for research. So throughout the survey, this is one variable will stay constant. So example is the cross-sectional surveys are popular with retail. Information is gathered without modifying any parameters in variable ecosystem. Another is we have the longitudinal surveys, which are observational surveys, but unlike cross-sectional, longitudinal surveys are conducted across various time durations to observe a change in respondent behavior and thought processes. This time can be days, months, years, or even decades. For instance, a research planning to analyze the change in buying habits of teenagers over 5 years will conduct longitudinal surveys. In cross-sectional surveys, the same variables were evaluated at a given point in time, and in longitudinal surveys, different variables can be analyzed at different intervals. Another is the correlation research. So correlation research, a comparison between two entities is invariable. Correlation research is conducted to establish a relationship between two closely knit entities and how one impacts the other and what are the changes that are eventually observed. This research method is carried out to give value to natural occurring relationships, and a minimum of two different groups are required to conduct this quantitative research method. So we have here the given examples of a correlational research. First is the relationship between stress and depression. Another is the equation between fame and money, or the relation between activities in a third grade class and its students. Next is we have the causal comparative research. This research method mainly depends on the factor of comparison, also called quasi-experimental research. This quantitative research method is used by researchers to conclude the causa effect or the cause and effect situation between two or more variables, where one variable is dependent on the independent or dependent on the other independent variable. The independent variable is established but not manipulated, and its impact to the dependent variable is also being observed. So these variables or group must be formed as they exist in the natural setup, as the dependent and independent variables will always exist in a group. It is advised that the conclusions are carefully established by keeping all the factors in mind. So what are the examples? Examples is the impact of drugs on teenagers. It can also be the effect of good education on freshman students, or the effectiveness of e-learning as an enhancer in teaching, or the effect of substantial food provision in the villages of Africa. Another type of quantitative research is the experimental research, also known as through experimentation. So this research method is reliant on a theory. So experimental research, as the name suggests it, is usually based on one or more theories. This theory has not been proven in the past and is merely a suspicion. In experimental research, an analysis is done around proving or disapproving the statement. This research method is used in natural sciences. So traditional research methods are more effective than modern techniques. Next, we have the descriptive research. This type of quantitative research is defined or is designed is appropriate if you intend to measure variables and perhaps establish association between variables. However, descriptive research cannot establish causal relationship between variables. Example are the case or case study. We have also the case series. We have the cross-sectional study, prospective study. We also have the case control study. Next, we have the data collection methodologies. So first is we have the sampling methods. We have the probability sampling. So a theory of probability is used to filter individuals from a population and create samples in probability sampling. Participants of a sample are chosen random selection process. Each member of the target audience has an equal opportunity to be selected in the sample. Example is we have the simple random sampling. As the name indicates, simple random sampling is nothing but a random selection of elements for a sample. This sampling technique is implemented where the target population is considerably large. Number 2 is the stratified random sampling. In the stratified random sampling method, a large population is divided into groups or strata, and members of a sample are chosen randomly from these strata. The various segregated strata should ideally not overlap one another. Number 3, we have the cluster sampling. It is a probability sampling method used which the main segment is divided into clusters, usually using geographic and demographic segmentation parameters. Number 4 is the systematic sampling. Systematic sampling is a technique where the starting point of the sample is chosen randomly, and all the other elements are chosen using a fixed interval. This interval is calculated by dividing the population size by the target sample size. And then we have the non-probability sampling. The non-probability sampling is where the researcher's knowledge and experience are used to create samples. Because of the involvement of the researcher, not all the members of a target population have an equal probability of being selected to be a part of the sample. Number one is the convenience sampling. In convenience sampling, elements of a sample are chosen only due to one prime reason, their proximity to the researcher. These samples are quick and easy to implement as there is no other parameter of selection involved. Another example of non-probability sampling is the consecutive sampling. This is quite similar to convenience sampling except for the fact that the researchers can choose a single element or a group of samples and conduct research consecutively over a significant period and then perform the same process with other samples. Another is the quota sampling. Using quota sampling, researchers can select elements using their knowledge of target traits and personalities to form strata. Members of various strata can be chosen to be a part of a sample as per the researcher's understanding. Next, we have the snowball sampling. The snowball sampling is conducted with a target audience which are difficult to contact and get information. It is popular in cases where the target audience or research are rare to put together. Then lastly, for non-probability sampling, we have judgmental sampling. Judgmental sampling is a non-probability sampling method where samples are created only based on the researcher's experience and skills.